And Dan Reeves, who has won only 1 of 5 in his coaching career against Seattle. 5.5 remaining. Third quarter, the kickoff by Johnson of Seattle. Zach Thomas. A lot of running around by Zach. So the Denver Broncos will take it 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. We'll be back after this work. Friday night, Ray Boom Boom Mancini in a non-title fight, and time permitting, Frank the Animal Fletcher and Juan Roldan.
Ferdy will have a ball, if there really is a Ferdy.
There really is a fight, Doctor. All right, first down at the 22-yard line, and here's Gary Kubiak off the swing. Sammy Winder. And Winder picks up the first down out near the 40. The free safety, John Harris, on the tackle.
This is the best I've seen the Broncos offensive line play all year long, and maybe that's why we haven't seen Luke Prestridge. But when you throw a ball out like this, a simple little flare pass, you've got Winder, it's easy to hit him. It's that stuff up front that's hard to coordinate. Paul Howard gets on his man. Take a look. Keith Bishop, I believe, jumps on him, and if it wasn't, it was Bill Bryan. So I hadn't seen Bill Bryan all day long. He isn't in there. That was Keith Bishop.
All right, first down at the 39. And Gerald Wilhite out to the 44, picked up 5. Shelton Robinson, the inside linebacker, on the stop. Of course, different people react different ways to pressure, but you take the rookie quarterback, Gary Kubiak, and he did not know that he would be starting until today. Maybe he had an inkling last night if he was aware that Elway was not feeling well, but sometimes with the pressure all week long, it can hurt a guy, and I'm wondering perhaps this took some of the nervousness away from Kubiak.
I agree.
Nathan Poole able to come up with that pass.
Okay, now this is going to be a big third down situation for them. Seattle's just scored. They're trying to find a way to get back in the ball game. You brought up a very good point, Marv. Here you have a kid that's playing in his first ball game. How does his nervous system react? Well, it didn't. It didn't have a chance. He was thrown into the ball game. Nobody knew Elway wouldn't be there until after warm-up. So with about 5 minutes before kickoff, somebody walks up and says, Gary, you're the kid. Well, I've seen a lot of fellas come in and play this way extremely well. It's when you have all week to think about it, all week to prepare, that the real test comes.
Dan Reeves saying it's you, guy. Gary Kubiak, 8th round draft pick from Texas A&M. 3rd down and 5 for Kubiak. Look out. Oh,
Easley.
The strong safety, Kenny Easley on the blitz. 2nd sack of the day for Seattle.
It was one of those plays, too. Kubiak was looking in the right spot. He had his receiver. He knew who he wanted to go to. He wanted to get to Sampson. It was a blitz all the way. Easley's out of that free safety, but fortunately, he got to Kubiak in time, or it would have been another touchdown.
And so, here's Paul Johns awaiting the Luke Prestridge punt.
First one.
First of the day for Luke, who last week had a rare off day, even shanked a 14-yarder. And whistle and flag. Let's see, could be delay of game. Yes, took too much time.
What are they pretending, that the guys are sleeping? Or I never did get that sign.
Yes, there is a reason behind the development of each sign.
Yeah, I've never found out what that one is.
Resting.
Still 4th down.
All right, we apologize for the audio problem on the microphone of the referee, Gene Barth, but it was delay of game. And now Prestridge drops back to his 13-yard line. Paul Johns of Seattle back at his 30. 3:24 remaining, 3rd quarter, and the Broncos with a 27-14 lead. An important series upcoming for the Seahawks. Beautiful hang time. And Johns off the fair catch at the 34-yard line.
There's going to have to be some defensive changes made as far as the Broncos' strategy is concerned, because they've been playing that takeaway defense, simple little zones. They've been picked apart. They've been moving them down against them. They've got to change something or Seattle will get back.
And again, the crowd looking to rev up the defense. Double tight end, Pete Metzelaars checking in. Largent in motion. Craig off the run, touchdown! Pete Metzelaars on the score, his first touchdown of the season, and Seattle is right back in it.
And Denver knows it has a problem. With a whole quarter and 1 minute and 12 seconds to play, this guy looks like he's a good receiver. Pete Metzelaars hasn't had a lot of playing time throughout the year. Charlie Young's the regular tight end, but he's one of those few tight ends that catches the ball in his hands, doesn't let it get into his body. As a result, he can catch the ball in a crowd and does a good job.
He's the 6'7", 240-pounder in a second season. A standout basketball player in college at Wabash. Started 2 games last year. No good! And that is the first miss of the season for Norm Johnson.
It also kept the Denver Broncos a touchdown and an extra point ahead. Very big miss. It's no picnic when you're trying to find somebody that's open and you see the mishmash that a quarterback sees. From the ground level, it's not all as clear-cut as it is from up here. That Craig, on 3 occasions during that drive, Marv, found receivers secondarily and picked out the right one after getting rid of a big pass rush.
And he has settled down in this third quarter. However, the point after missed by Norm Johnson, who had hit his first 36 out of 36. And again, the deep kickoff by Johnson not allowing the run back. Norm Johnson with what could be a critical miss on the point after a flag has been thrown on the kickoff.
And people, generally there's a reason for that. The offsides was against Seattle, but I'm sure Johnson started a little fast. The center was just a little bit high.
The kicking team was offside.
Remember,
with a 5-yard penalty.
Remember, Blair Bush has been injured. He is not in there. That could be a reason for that center being high. Now, Joe Norman's trying to make a big play. Sometimes you get in a hurry. You must wait till that ball is kicked. Number 52 gets started just before the ball leaves Johnson's foot, so they have to start 5 yards deeper.
Norm Johnson getting set to kick again. Seattle making it back in this third quarter as David Hughes took it in from close in, cutting a 27-14. That was early third. And then Craig to Metzelaars for 17 yards, trimming it to 27-20. Then the missed extra point. So that's the way we stand. Seattle had a chance to be in a position to move in front of Denver off another touchdown. Thomas had a cover up. Zach Thomas had himself a rough time.
What a play he made to recover that fumble. That's like jumping in front of a car moving at about 50 miles an hour. That ball bounced right off his chest. Now this is the sort of hell-bent for election recklessness that a kickoff returner needs. He sees everybody coming down on it. If he doesn't get it at that point, there are 4 Seattle Seahawks in a perfect position to recover, Eric Lane being the closest of all of them. And we see San Francisco getting off to a fast start and faltering. It's 21-17 in the fourth. Not good news for the Niners.
By first down for Denver at their 14-yard line. Here's Winder. Big hole again. Sammy Winder forced out by John Harris. And back downfield, the tight end Ron Egloff was shaken up, but apparently is all right. A 37-yard run by Winder.
The middle of the field. Bill Bryan, Keith Bishop, good double team block. Egloff comes in, makes a great block on Butler. Okay, you get that kind of a hole. Molly Putz could get through it, but Winder takes it on for a long gain down to the 49-yard line of the Seahawks.
And 73 yards, 13 carries for Winder, who's had an excellent day. First down, midfield, Nathan Poole. And a beautiful change of direction by Poole, who would not go down. Joe Nash, the nose tackle, finally able to collar him. Sammy Winder started slowly. He fumbled early in the ball game, playing with that sore thumb, but apparently not having any more difficulty handling the football.
Well, late in the ball game, all the juices are flowing, and those sore thumbs and raw ankles seem to get well.
Time running down in this third quarter. And that'll do it. So we're 3 complete here in Denver. At the end of 3. Broncos 27, Seahawks 20. We'll be back after this from your local station. 5,103 at Mile High in Denver. 99th consecutive sellout here in Denver, Colorado. Temperature at 44 degrees. The lights are on. Beautiful day for football. Marv Albert, John Brody getting set for the start of play in the fourth quarter. Important matchup with both clubs coming in with records of 6-5. Particularly important as you look down the road to a potential tiebreaker situation. Denver 2-3 within the division, 6-3 in the conference. Seattle 4-2 against division opposition, 6-2 within the conference. And Seattle won the earlier meeting between these two clubs. Second down and 2. Gerald Wilhite has picked up the first down.
We mentioned, the left side of the offensive line has been doing the yeoman's share of the work. The whole offensive line's been playing very well. Dave Studdard, number 70. Keith Bishop, number 54. Ron Egloff also helping. They're playing football on the Seattle side of the line of scrimmage.
And a first down at the 37. Gary Kubiak, surprise starter, rookie out of Texas A&M, has done an excellent job to lead Denver to this lead. Looking for Watson. And a Denver first down outside the 20.
He says, is it always this easy? This is just like another day at the plant. First game ever, he walks out, runs into a double coverage zone. Justin is all over him, number 26, man-to-man underneath. Down the field, there's a free safety. Absolutely nobody would throw that ball if they were in their right mind, except number 8, and he completes it. Thank you very much.
And it's a first down at the 20-yard line. That's Watson in motion. Winder. Sammy Winder using that acceleration. Today's game is being brought to you by Jeep Corporation. When it comes to four-wheel drive, one word says it all. Jeep by Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America, world leader in aluminum technology. And by AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
I get the feeling that Dan Reeves has learned something today also. I don't think he's changed his game plan a bit since number 8 has been installed as the quarterback, and I think he's found out that if you have the same game plan, maybe a lot of guys can execute it. He's been very creative in his play selection, and the players are responding.
And Winder responds. Oh, what a second effort. As John Harris can attest to, could not bring him down. Harris and Greg Gaines finally able to haul Winder down, but it'll be a first and goal at the 6.
They're winning up front. Now they're beating 3 first-round draft choices. Those 3 down linemen are all supposed to be the best, right? They've been playing great football all year long. 79 and 77 have been outstanding defensive linemen, but they're getting their hat handed to them today by the offensive line of the Broncos.
86 yards, 15 carries for Sammy Winder. And here's Wilhite. inside the 5. Gerald Wilhite, second year, San Jose State, Denver's #1 draft pick last season, bothered by hamstring pulls throughout the year. He and Winder were in a battle for the starting job during training camp. And Wilhite very anxious to return to the action.
Well, both very similar type backs. Wilhite from San Jose State, who is an all-purpose receiver, running back, good blocker. Winder the same, so they really have done well with both of them.
Second and goal, 5-yard line. You look at it from our end zone location. And Wilhite stopped back behind the line. He ran right into number 79, Jacob Green.
Well, let's see what kind of unique little play selection we have now. The last time they were in a 3rd down and 8, they had Kubiak on a quarterback draw from a shotgun formation. Earlier in the ball game, he threw a couple of beautiful throws, one for a touchdown to Steve Watson. Other than that, they've had to settle for field goals. It's very important for them to put 6 on the board as opposed to 3.
And it's now a 3rd and goal back at the 8, 11 and a half remaining, 4th quarter. And the Broncos lead the Seahawks 27-20. That's the tight end Eglon splitting off to the right side. Here's Poole inside the 5.
They settle for 3.
And Rich Collis making his way. He hit earlier from 42 and from 25. Rich is now 15 for 19. Carlos, a barefoot soccer-style kicker who actually has been better as a pro than he was in college at the University of Cincinnati.
The up and down cycle of those kickers, though, a foot this way or a foot that way.
Well, that has occurred particularly with the kicking specialist. This is a 21-yard attempt. Prestridge puts the high snap down, and Collis puts it through. So the Broncos extend to a 10-point lead with 10.5 left, 4th quarter. They lead it 30.
The Chiefs, for the second time in the last 3 minutes, Bill Kenny to Carlos Carson for a touchdown. Suddenly, it's now 27-14 Dallas. Let's go back to Marv and John now in Denver.
All right, Len. Marv Albert, John Brody in Denver. Rich Collis, who is 3 for 3 on the day, succeeding on his 3 field goal attempts. And the Broncos leading it 30-20. Good kickoff by Collis. Zachary Dixon, the former Bronco, to the 15. And a swarming defensive effort by the Broncos. So the Seahawks, who saw turnovers cost them earlier.
Look at the 4th quarter, Marv. That's the telltale quarter. Both these teams jockey with you for position throughout the first 3. Today's a rare one for both teams. Both offenses are scoring more than they're accustomed to. Usually it's the 4th quarter where they have to open up. So you can look for 10 points not to stand up necessarily. They better do some more scoring.
And Seattle first down at the 19-yard line. Here's Craig to throw. Well, the pressure of Barney Chavis preventing Craig from finding a receiver.
That's right. Those receivers are not easy to find when you get back there and your primary receiver is double covered. This time he wanted to go down the right sideline. However, it was a double zone. When they were covered, the up man took off with the receiver. He found a little vacant spot and picked up 8.
Well, the Redskins, yes, pounding on the Rams. In the 4th quarter, a 42-6 lead for Washington. 2nd down and 2. And Kurt Warner has the first down. Dave Craig is 21 for 30, 314 yards. Had his difficulties in the first half, contributing to the 6 turnovers in all committed by Seattle, which put the Seahawks in the hole.
Well, he's had a couple of interceptions, then the 3 that he's dropped. And so he's actually responsible for all but that first one by David Hughes on the first play of the game. But since that time, is really playing well.
First down at the 34-yard line.
Here comes Randy.
And Craig for Johns. Picked off. Steve Wilson. Turnover number 7.
Okay, we mentioned Randy Gradishar was coming. They had a blitz in which they were sending 6 men. He saw it. He tried to get out to Paul John quickly. John did not come up with it. However, Steve Wilson did. They've been trying to pick on Steve Wilson all day long. They went to the well once too often. He made an excellent reception of that interception. Caught it just as it was going to the ground, and he did indeed catch it, getting both arms underneath the ball. It's been the story of the Broncos since the start.
And Steve Wilson with his first intercept of the season. Here's Winder. Sammy Winder to the 22-yard line. Steve Wilson starting at right cornerback with Mike Harden moving to strong safety.
You can see
it'll be a 2nd and 7 from the 22. Last week, NFL 83 ran a story on super teams, an educational program instructing kids in the prevention of drug abuse. And if you'd like additional information on this important organization, there's the address. You can write to Dr. Jerry Edwards in Sayville, New York. Here's Winder. And Jeff Bryant on the tackle.
You heard a few boos selected from the crowd. They've seen such a wide open style of offense today that they're not ready to sit on the ball and settle for 3 points. They thought the ball should have been put upstairs. They're welcome to their opinion.
It'll be a 3rd down and 7. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. The Broncos operate out of the shotgun. Kubiak had time intended for Poole. Covered by Don Dufek.
No one open.
And here is Rich Carlos. 3 for 3. He has connected from 42, 25, and 21. Looking to add to that Denver lead. And they set it up at the 28-yard line, so it will be a 38-yard attempt. Prestridge awaits the snap. And Carlos does it again. 38-yard field goal for Carlos. And it's now the Broncos 33, the Seahawks 20. And a big week here on NBC. Thanksgiving football Friday night. Larry Holmes, Marvis Frazier in prime time from Las Vegas. 7.5 remaining, 4th quarter. Here's Zachary Dixon on a reverse. Does not work. Eric Lane on the reverse from Dixon. Stopped by Jesse Miles.
All right, you take a look. These swift little reverses. Eric Lane is the recipient. He can tell when he gets the ball he's going nowhere. And boy, do the Broncos ever love to get in a position of pursuit. Looks the same from down there. Nothing but orange shirts.
And Seattle starting out from their 11-yard line. They're trailing by 13, 33-20. And Craig in trouble. Rifles it. And the reception by Paul Johns for the first down out near the 25-yard line. Roger Jackson on the coverage.
He's creating time for himself and finding the few open receivers that are available. He's come to Johns on several occasions, Largent on a few, hit Metzelaars on big receptions. See Jim Zorn very frustrated not being able to be part of his team's play.
Well, at one point, we're speculating late in the second quarter that we might see Zorn in the second half, but Craig has certainly turned it around. The tight end, Charlie Young, out near the first down marker. Busick and Ryan on the stop.
And time is now a factor, Marv. Denver has to consider the clock. There's 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the ball game. 13 points down. A lot of yards to move. Take a look. Here's a double coverage. You see the inside safety coming deep to the outside, and you see 45, the man that just picked the ball off, staying up with the wide receivers. That's what they do to take away your wide stuff.
First down, 35-yard line. Steve Largent, beautiful move, getting to midfield. So Largent stopped by Ryan, and the Seahawks are on the move. Another first down.
He's special. Steve Largent can do things that very few athletes can do. He can put you back in a ball game in the time span of about 2.5 minutes just by creating patterns that the quarterback can throw. He runs well against double coverage, so there is no insurance you can shut him out.
6 receptions, 75 yards for Largent. First down at the Denver 49. Down to 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Kurt Warner. And he's short of the first down. So Craig using Warner out of the backfield.
They know they need help from the clock. All their offensive people are warned, hey folks, there's only 6 minutes left to play. We have to not only move it down quickly this time and score it, we have to hold them defensively, force them to punt, and they've only done that once today, and then make another drive. So it's looking tough if you're a Seahawk fan.
And Cullen Bryant in the lineup now alongside Warner. Second down 4 at the Denver 43. Broncos lead it by 13. Charlie Young for the first down.
That Charlie Young is very alert. On that particular occasion, he was ready to throw the ball to Cullen Bryant on a lateral, but Bryant was not looking for it, or it might have been even a bigger gain.
And a Seattle first down at the Denver 31. Largent to the right, Johns left. Warner and Bryant, the running backs. Craig with time, he's got Johns. Another Seattle first down inside the 15, the tackle by Steve Wilson.
Boy, those two are coordinating so well together. It's like you've seen Zorn and Largent for years and years and years. These two are both young. They know what each other's doing. You almost have the feeling they've got transistor in each other's helmet. Take a look at Craig. He's getting good pressure up in here. Good pressure by the Broncos, but he's hanging right in there, letting the ball go at the right time, throwing perfect spirals. He's got him on the 14, 13.
19-yard pickup, 9th reception by Johns for 116 yards. This is Warner. So he's run out by Harden. And again, that clock stopped with 4:40 left, fourth quarter.
And the great backs do those sort of things innately. Warner knows, hey, whatever, if I can't pick something up, it's a safe type of pattern to throw if my primary receiver doesn't come open. And you're pretty well assured that he'll run the ball out of bounds.
Seahawks looking to get on the board here to cut it to a 6-point differential with much time left. Long count. Craig, end zone. Charlie Young, touchdown.
Tell you what, these fellas have refused to fade. Charlie Young makes his second outstanding catch of the day, and Dave Craig has showed a lot of people about as much as you can expect of any young quarterback. His resilience has been unparalleled in that the fella, with 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play, lots of time, has time after time brought them back after adversity. He's caused his own on many occasions, but when he hasn't, he's put them in the end zone.
And here is Norm Johnson, who missed an extra point earlier after hitting his first 36 out of 36. And Johnson drills it through. So with 4:35 remaining in this fourth quarter, Seattle has closed the gap once again, trailing by only 6 points.
Lean.
Charlie Young with a second touchdown reception of the season, 11-yard pass from Dave Craig, and the Seahawks now trailing 33-27, 4.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. And again, the strong kickoff by Johnson, and Zach Thomas, the rookie from South Carolina State, decided to stay right there.
Wisely.
And now the Broncos faced with a critical series. First down at their 20.
It'll be interesting to see just what Dan Reeves has in mind, whether he thinks his offensive line can move the Seattle defense around at this point. They've been getting the best of the defense all day long. And will he keep it on the ground, or does he realize that they have to make a drive and keep the ball out of the Seahawks' hands?
And this is Winder for just a short pickup. A reminder on NBC tonight, First Camera will report on Bob Kuchenberg, the battered old warrior of the Dolphins of Miami. You like that?
If you watch him, he doesn't look too battered.
And then it's part one of the world premiere mini-series, Kennedy. That's all tonight on NBC, starring Martin Sheen. That'll be tonight. First Camera and Kennedy following.
Let's see what Dan's decided to go with this time.
Well, again on that last play, 2nd and 10. And Kubiak underthrows Nathan Poole.
A very difficult pattern to throw. It's a double fake to your running to your fullback, then you halfback, and your fullback continues on, and you have to hit him quick. He was ready, couldn't quite get the ball out of his hands quick enough, and you see the statistics of Gary Kubiak are actually not, I don't think, indicative of how well he's played.
He is making his first start in the NFL because John Elway was hit with the flu. Steve DeBerg is out with a separated shoulder. Injury suffered against Seattle in Seattle 2 weeks ago. And the rookie now faces a 3rd and 10. Look out. And a dangerous pass.
He's going to get it called on him.
The Seahawks in a debate off what looked to be an interference call.
Defensive pass interference, 44, first down.
Oh, that's a big play. John Harris, the free safety, called for the interference.
And that's one that, the officials are sitting there, and they hate to make real close calls in this critical a situation. He must have seen it very clearly. He must have thought that Harris actually hit him before the ball reached the receiver. And in so doing, they ruled he came over him, and I think technically that he did. I've seen a lot of those not called. That one was.
But I must say, in the National Football League, as compared to the NBA and the NHL, they do make the calls down the stretch, I feel, more consistently.
Very gutsy. I agree.
And they've tacked an additional call on. Let's see. Here's Gene Barth. And Jacob Green is very upset.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the head coach of Seattle. 15 yards, first down.
I know who he is. And he must have been very bothered. I mean, he's not in a position to see the play as well as the official at this time, but I know what his concern is. At such a critical time, should you make that call? It was a close call to make. He made it.
All right, Chuck Knox hit with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and a break for the Broncos. First down now up at the 43-yard line with 3:38 remaining, fourth quarter. Here's Winder. And Winder not able to get loose. Kenny Easley, the strong safety, on the stop. Clock is running.
We may reflect again on what a big game this is for both teams. We said at the outset, the winner of this ball game looks like they've got a real inside track to the playoffs. Remember, Cleveland won today, so they're now 7-5. The team that wins this ball game will be 7-5. The division races are not locked up, but it looks like things are starting to take form. And San Francisco's come back, leading Atlanta by 3 in the fourth quarter, so they've got a chance to extend their lead. But this game is a big one.
2nd and 10. Here's Poole. And he could not make the turn. So the Seattle defense rising on this series. Keith Butler able to follow Poole across to cut him off.
And take a look. We're getting some reaction from the fans in Denver. They're booing the play calling. Well, I think it's wrong, because right now they don't want to do anything that would jeopardize a ball game that looks like they should win. They've got a 6-point lead with 2.5 minutes to play. Their defense has been at the top of the heap for years and years and years. They're playing at home. They've got a rookie quarterback that's played wonderfully. They don't want to let him do something to make a critical mistake right now. So win, lose, or draw, I've got to go along with Dan's thoughts.
Interestingly, Seattle's defense is last overall in the AFC, but they have come up with a big play defense.
And they're coming after him.
Here's Poole. And so, a very tough series defensively for the Seahawks. Paul Moyer on the stop of Poole. We have 2 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, and right now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes. Fourth quarter, Dallas in front of Kansas City by the score of 34-14. A look at the AFC West. The Raiders with a victory today, now 9-3. Denver and Seattle at 6-5. Kansas City at 5-6, and some of our viewers will be switched to the Kansas City-Dallas game following Seahawks and Broncos.
Maybe they need a rest, because that ball game's history.
All right, Prestridge punting for only the second time this afternoon. Denver held on the Seahawks. Good hang time. Paul Johns. Fumble. Recovered.
I think what you have just seen is either a touchdown. Well, let's wait till we get a ruling.
Yeah, you have to wait on this one. No indication. It is recovered by Seattle. At first, some of the Broncos thought that they may have recovered in the end zone.
Well, you can see now Johns is trying to make a pickup of the ball, cannot do so. It's running loose, just came back into the frame. Somebody stole that little baby after everybody was down.
That was Rick Dennison, who seemed to have possession.
Yeah, but it got taken back because Gregory Johnson did a little out scrambling for the ball after it was on the ground.
Well, Paul Johns with a critical fumble. Seahawks now operating from their 2 with 1:44 remaining. Fourth quarter, and Broncos lead it by 6, 33-27. Here's Craig in trouble, and let's see, they call it safety.
Rulon Jones put the capper on.
So that extends the Bronco lead 35-27.
Craig back here, he knows he cannot get trapped with the ball, but Jones made such a fine defensive rush. He got to him, and actually Craig stepped on the line before he got rid of the ball. It was all forced by Rulon Jones. He was not ruled to have been in the grasp of Rulon, but stepped out of bounds beyond the end zone. All right, he's played fine ever since he's made those 3 errors in the first half. This is a good play by Rulon Jones. Gets him to put his left foot on the line. When he does so, this game is all but over.
What a finish here in Denver.
I'd expect an onside kick in this situation. Whether we get one or not, I do not know. I think he could drop kick it.
It is a free kick for Johnson, and yes, fielded effectively by Tom Jackson. He played it as a shortstop.
Man, did he make a good play. You know, these linebackers are great athletes traditionally, but he and Randy Gradishar are in a class by themselves when it comes to athletic ability. Real good hands. We do not get a chance to see Tom Jackson come up with a snag. Now we get a chance to see it. That's not an easy catch with 4 people trying to jump down your frame. You know, there should be a little something mentioned about Dan Reeves. You know, he's done what he's done. He's got his Broncos what appear to be 7-5 after 12 games with 31 players having been injured since training camp started. And he's been criticized for this, criticized for that. Today he wins with his 3rd-string quarterback. It takes a good coach to put the pieces together when everything looks dismal.
All right, Nathan Poole off the first down. The 28, Bruce Schultz on the tackle. We're down to 1:33 remaining in this 4th quarter. Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is Channel 5, KING-TV, Seattle.
Marv Albert, John Brody, Denver, Colorado. Timeout has been called by Seattle. Now, next Sunday, Denver will be at San Diego, and I would have to think that the rookie from Texas A&M, Gary Kubiak, will be in the lineup, and now he will be facing the pressure of a week of much that will be discussed and written.
You know what I think? I don't think he will be. I think John Elway will be there, and I think Dan Reeves has already made that judgment, and I think Gary Kubiak will be sitting a whole lot better off in a position to replace John Elway if that situation comes up. But I don't think Dan Reeves is the type of coach that's ever going to let himself let the quarterback play out on the field dictate who's going to start. One game isn't going to dictate one man being better than the next. They have years to look at that. He's made that decision, and he is pleased to death that Kubiak played as well as he did today. And well, you see him right now, he feels a bit relieved.
If it were a home game next week and Elway stepped out, I think the crowd reaction would not be favorable.
Well, they don't go by crowd reaction.
You can't dictate by that, no question. But, well, we'll see how Reeves plays it next week. All right, Sammy Winder as the Broncos run it down. You see the clock running down. Kerry Justin on the tackle. Following the Broncos and the Seahawks, some of our viewing audience will be picking up the final moments of the Kansas City-Dallas game. Cowboys well in front as we speak. They have moved in front now 41-14.
They won't stop.
A penalty marker down.
Illegal motion, 62 offense, penalty refused. Third down.
Tom Classic, the left guard, but the penalty declined. So Denver at San Diego next Sunday. Seattle will be home for Kansas City, followed by Dallas at home. And the Denver Broncos extending the record to 7-5, and Seattle on their way to the 500 mark at 6-6. Seattle had won 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5 from Denver. Here's Wilhite. Gerald Wilhite with 1:15 remaining. John Harris on the tackle. And the clock has been stopped. Seattle now with 1 timeout left. And I'd like to thank our spotters Al King and Ron Talpers, statistician Ray Friedman, Tom Murray handling the scores.
I'll be interested to see whether or not the Broncos go for a field goal. I know that people would say, well, certainly, why not? That'd put them 11 ahead, minute and 12 to go. Actually, about the only way they could lose the ball game is by getting a field goal block at this point and having it run in.
Right, that would, with the extra point, would cut it to a 35-34, followed by an onside kick.
Right.
Minute 12 left.
Although it's incidental, I think. Carlos can kick his 5th field goal of the day. Maybe they feel let's let the man have a shot at that.
All right, this is a 40-yard attempt. And as you see, he has been effective from this distance. And he's 4 for 4 on the day. And he puts it right through. That would have hit from 55. Rich Thomas, a major contributor to this Denver victory here today. 5 for 5. And he's taking it all low-key. He doesn't get very excited.
It's like bringing your lunch to the plant. However, he made a tackle that saved a very possible touchdown early in the ball game by Zach Dixon. So it's nice to see an all-purpose kicker.
Rich Carlos signed out of a free agent walk-on camp. And then last year as a rookie on the strike-shortened season hit 11 of 13. We're down to 1:08 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Broncos, aided by the safety forced by Rulon Jones and another field goal by Carlos. Chuck Knox will not have a happy return trip back to the Pacific Northwest.
You notice he's got a few things to say to the man standing on the sideline across the way, and he'll have a few more too. It may not get public. Don't ever let anybody think that man is anything but effective and intense.
All right, Zachary Dixon hanging right there. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for Seattle. Seahawks, who are looking to make the playoffs for the first time in the history of the franchise, and Atlanta has pulled it out.
Are you kidding me?
Meaning their old ball club.
Yeah, on the last play of the ball game. All right. Now, Atlanta has had San Francisco's number in Atlanta for the last several years. That even happened when I was playing. And nothing seems to have changed. I know it's a nice city, but it's not that nice. We've been way too charitable to that group.
Bitter man.
And that kind of tightens it up as far as the NFC West is concerned, as L.A. got drummed also.
All right, here's Largent. Brought down by Jackson and some help. We're under a minute remaining in this fourth quarter. Dave Craig has some impressive statistics. He had the poor first half, came on in the second half, but not enough. And turnovers have just killed the Seahawks. This is Dornick, his second reception of the day. 7 turnovers in all by Seattle.
That's too many. That's too many to beat a poor team, and they're playing against a very good one.
So the first down by the Seahawks with 37 seconds remaining.
I think I've never seen an illustration quite as graphic as the one today in which turnovers have done a team in. They have only had to punt the ball once. They were able to move against a very good defense up and down the field. And every time they didn't self-destruct, they were okay. 7-2 in turnovers. The Bronx are going to beat you every time that way.
And a bizarre turnovers by Craig coming up empty on a couple of occasions. Whoops. And Craig took a hit, picked off, and again it's Steve Wilson, second intercept of the day. So Steve Wilson capping it off with 27 seconds remaining.
Now that's one that goes against the quarterback, but it was really his own man who got blocked right back into him just as he threw the pass, which caused the pass to go cattywampus, and watch Steve Wilson pick up his second interception of the day. Cattywampus, that's a word you don't need description. But you can see that by the end of it, quarterback had a problem. All right, let's take a look, see if we can see the lineman that fell right in Craig's lap as he was about to throw. Number 66. It was Bill Dugan trying to pick up and help, ran right over the top of Craig.
In that San Francisco-Atlanta game, it was Bartkowski to White Shoes Johnson, 47-yard pass play. Final play of the game to give the Falcons the 28-24 victory. Are they booing?
Oh, I guess.
Or is that traditional booing?
Temper's got a bit extended there, but I think this game's history, and congratulate the Broncos and Gary Kubiak
very happy crowd here in Denver as the Denver Broncos have defeated the Seattle Seahawks 38-27 to make it 7-5 on the season. Marv Albert with John Brody saying so long from Denver.